the session with opening case study. It's there in textbook. Why do we pay our executives more? Actually, this case study is the perception of IT giant Infosys founder N.R. Narayanamurthy. So here N.R. Narayanamurthy is being a chief mentor for Infosys, and he strongly believes that organizations are recent days paying very much salaries, that means higher salaries to the managers, especially who are at executive levels or senior levels. So what he recommended is the companies has to have three principles to determine the executive compensations. In other terms, we can call it as a managerial remuneration also. So what are those three principles? He told the three principles as follow. First one is fairness, transparency and accountability. So these three components has to be considered while determining the executive compensation. Let us have a look about what are these components. He mentioned that fairness requires that executive compensation be considered with respect of other employees of organizations. That means equal pay, that means fairness in sense everybody in the organization, everybody has to pay that according to the work. And transparency requires sharing of information about executive compensation with other stakeholders. That means whenever we are talking about competitors and all, competition would be there between the organization. But when it comes to compensation and norms, if there is no transparency, some people may pay higher salaries, some people may not pay right salary what the others are feeling to get. This may give the imbalance between the organization's operations. That's what transparency could be there. Definitely the organization has to reveal their executive compensation to their stakeholders. And finally, accountability. So whereas accountability is which calls for linking compensation, executive compensation with corporate performance. So whatever the duty, job role is being done by an employee, that has to be taken care. Just a minute more. We have a guest here. So accountability means the organization has to link the executive compensation with their performance in the organization. So these key principles he determined. So based on Infosys HR practices, Mr. Narayan Murthy suggested that executive compensation must be having some fixed components and variable components, like as determining for every employee fixed salaries, variable pays would be there for some designations, right? Likewise for executive compensation also the organization has to determine the fixed components for the executive designations as well as variable components for executive designations. After determining these components according to the performance given by the employee or executives, that will be compensated. Here the variable component should be linked with the long-term objectives. That may not be short-term objectives. The variable components has to link with long-term objectives. So he also told that Mr. Narayanan also told that senior management should swim or sink with the fortunes of the company. Most probably the executive roles has to feel the belongingness of the company. That is what he told. The compensation committee of the board should review executive compensation issues which also need to be approved by the independent directors and the shareholders. So as well, he told earlier about transparency would be there, which has to be known to the stakeholders. The information regarding executive compensation has to be known by the stakeholders. As well, the approval of the compensation must get from the stakeholders and independent directors approvals. So what Murthy has stated that is promoter CEO is different from professional manager. So what is the role of promoter CEO? A promoter CEO takes a huge risk and should be compensated accordingly. So we should not confuse with issues of entrepreneurial compensation and professional executive compensation. That is what he explained. Entrepreneurial compensation is risk is more, as that person is investing more, he is being the major shareholder of that company, his responsibilities would be different. But when it comes to a professional executive compensation, the risk may not be equal as entrepreneur, and until that executive feels the involvement and belongingness of the company, he may not be acts good at his part. That is what he told in Financial Express. It was reported that annual compensation of Narayana Murthy in 2006 was 41.60 lakhs. So he gained that as CEO and President and Managing Director. And Nandan Nilekhani was having 41.70 lakhs as his compensation. That's a very little difference between these two. Whereas Narayana Murthy was having entrepreneurial compensation, Nandan is being a professional executive he has got professional executive compensation, where there is no much difference between these two. If we look into the Tata Consultancy Services, which is on par with Infosys. So in TCS, it was hiked to total compensation of its CEO and Managing Director, S. Ramadurai, was by 100%, which was around 2 crores, 2.44 crores in 2006, wherein employees' annual cost of which was raised only by 32%, which is around 5,113 crores, wherein some part 100% increase was for S. Ramadurai, wherein we look into the overall employees' contribution, it may not be good increase. So whereas it has gone up to 34.7% in Infosys, that means employees' cost was in Infosys 3,818 crores, whereas in comparison with TCS, it is little one. So the increase of employee cost for Infosys was higher than the increase in compensation for Murthy. Even if for Murthy and Nilekhani, if we consider the increase is only 30%, but if we see the case of TCS, the managing director, CEO and managing director took 100% increase in his compensation. So here the average annual cost per employee who is working with the company is only 8 lakh rupees for TCS and 7 lakh rupees for Infosys. So this is what the compensation and its executive compensation difference with two major giants, IT giants. So Infosys usually follows the predictability, sustainability, profitability. That is the model actually. So that model is called as PSPD model. So PSPD stands for predictability, sustainability, profitability, de-risking model. So the long-term success of any organization depends on scaling up profitability usually. So therefore every organization must have a good de-risking approach to recognize the mitigating risk in every dimension, which includes executive compensation also. That is what the case study discussed here. So, apart from this case study, if we look into the some studies which was happened in executive compensation, nowadays executive compensation is taking more leading role, and the researchers told that there is a correlation between organizational performance and executive compensation. So here this study found a very tremendous relationship between executive compensation and organizational performance. However, some subsequent researchers who undertaken globally, they established a strong relationship between these two. So there are three main areas of executive compensation apart from what we discussed and what we considered from the Infosys CEO. He said about fairness, transparency and accountability. But here, from the perspective of the researchers, they told these three areas are mandatory and these could be the main areas while determining the executive compensations. So what are these three? First one is understanding the criteria. So what criteria we need to understand? The criteria must be organizational performance, organizational size and individual characteristics of executives. These are the three major criteria the company has to understand. And understanding the consequences. Consequences in sense, implications in terms of pay level and pay risk. Earlier we saw about PSPD model, right? So, implications in terms of pay level and pay risk has to be understand. That would be the consequence for determining executive compensation. And finally, the mechanism to determine executive compensation. So in fact, other characteristics of executive compensation design can be scrutinized, whereas that means executive compensation can be determined in this about two factors like criteria and consequences. Based on this two criteria, the executive compensation will have major role. So here executive compensation is playing very important role when it comes to motivating the critical performance of an executive. So what are the critical performances? These critical performances always helps a company to achieve its goals and to achieve its outcomes. So in this context, it's very important to understand that base salary is not only the component of executive compensation, wherein organizations have to make available various short-term and long-term incentives according to the company. Such incentives need not be a form of cash. So these short-term and long-term incentives like maybe stock options or various other innovative differential pays such as loyalty bonus, golden parachute schemes, these can be major criteria when they are determining the executive compensation. So executive compensation package needs to be designed in such a way wherein it helps the executives to achieve the financial goals. Also, it will meet the company's goals. So let us look into what are the components of executive compensation. So we already discussed about this, but let us have a look about this. Components of compensation can be studied in three various perspectives. Variable pay in terms of bonus, commission and profit sharing. Second one is base pay Base pay is also a component. Base pay in terms of salaries and prerequisites. And employment status such as promotions and terminations. That means whether this executive compensation is short term or long term, that would determine the third point. So the difference between these perspectives typically focuses on the uncertainty of organizational risk-bearing capacity. That is why these three are being a major lead while determining the executive compensation. So base pay, which represents a more important, it may not give high effect in the profitability of organizations. Apart from this, while designing effective executive packages, compensation packages do have the following components also. Base salary, already we discussed that. Annual incentives. So yearly the performance of the executive will be evaluated. Depending on that, these annual incentives could be determined. Long-term capital accumulation. If the role is about accumulating the capital, the organization is driving towards profits. More people are interested in investing the company because of that executive, that means senior roles. So long-term capital accumulation also could be one of the component. Sometimes these executives will demand for some percentage. And deferred compensation arrangements, supplemental benefits and prerequisites, special severances and retirement arrangements, employment and change of control agreements. So these are the premier components wherein the organization has to consider these while designing the executive compensations. So in case where bonuses are regularly awarded, they become more like entitled for the executive compensations, and this also could be like as fixed pay for the executive compensations. Here we have a few theories of executive compensations. So important theories, as we said, usually if we see while determining the executive compensation theories, why it is. So to test, when we think of competitive advantage, see organizations always, they will try to focus on retention of executives because their talent, because of their knowledge base and that reciprocation on organizations. If you do remember this neoclassical theory of compensation. So according to this neoclassical theory, what economics consider, they said profit maximization, which in terms of maximizing the gains of the owners or stakeholders, right? That is what the neoclassical theory sets for, and this supports the organization goals more. So in the era of executives which are preferred to manage the organizations, this neoclassical theory is supporting more to give strength to executive compensations. Here shareholders and owners trust executives with managing the show in the belief to their professional skills, which would be helpful organization success. So however, executives may take undue advantage to pursue their own interest by riding owners and stakeholders interests usually. So prerequisites and supplementary benefits, if we see this, it represents a very small fraction of executive compensation. So what organizational need to design is tax efficient long-term incentive packages. So the worth of long-term incentive packages is difficult to determine, wherein we consider this tax efficient long-term incentive packages. So usually if it comes to general statistical model calculations, how the compensation would be calculated. See, executive compensation, while designing that, there is a formula like base salary growth would be like this. If you do remember regression and all, I don't want to annoy you much with this concept. The formula is about A plus B1 revenue growth plus B2 profit growth plus E. That is what the formula, wherein A stands for intercept term, B1 and B2 stands for coefficients of revenue growth and profit growth. E is being the standard error. So base salary of, let me explain you in precisely, where base salary would be, this executive's base salary would be determined, that growth would be determined based on the revenue growth plus profit growth. That revenue growth also will have some strands like intercept term, that means how much period that we are taking, and during that period how much revenue growth was happened. That is what they mentioned in the formula. So anyhow, that's usually political and social factors also influence executive compensations. So this is also known as power politics. But apart from this, we have some theories to determine executive compensations. Among that, this is the first agency theory. So this agency theory determines that shareholders are principals of the company because of their ownership rights. So these shareholders delegate control to top executives who represents their ownership interests. So here compensation for the top executives is designed by keeping in mind the mutual interests of both shareholders and top level executives. So here the compensation is designed in a way which serves the best mutual interests of shareholders as well as the virtual owners, like the top executives of organizations. This is what agency theory explained. Okay. Next, tournament theory. So according to this theory, compensation is viewed as the prize in a series of tournaments. If you are good enough at the sports and all, like contests among middle and top level managers who aspire to become the CEO. So winners of the tournament at one level, they will enter into the next tournament. So in other words, an executive promotions to the higher rank signifies the win, and more attractive compensation represents the prize here. So here this tournament theory views executive compensation as a prize. If someone among the middle and top level managers, some people will be like a contestants who will win, those people will have the senior management positions. The compensation will be common, that would be the acts like a prize to the top level managers. So next one, social comparison theory. What this theory suggests? So this theory suggests designing compensation by comparing it with earned by similar individuals. Actually, the idea behind this theory is to ensure the social justice by complying with the principles of equity. So in organizations, this approach is reinforced by not varying the pay levels in the same grade, but despite of the fact that new incumbents may possess more skills and knowledge. That's what the perception. Those people will be given the priority. So next, balance sheet approach. This approach aims to provide expatriates compensation based on the standard of living they normally enjoy in their own country. So when Indian companies deputes their executives and employees abroad, they allow their current salary to accumulate and provide a separate salary to accommodate their cost of living in other countries. So this is what balance sheet approach. So this would be the salary, that would be the compensation. Such a way this approach will help to determine. And headquarters basic pay. So which refers to executive compensation to all according to the rate used at headquarters. So in headquarters, whatever be the compensation, same thing will be applied to the subsidiaries also. Global organizations like many globalized MNCs and all, those follow this principle of compensation design, but this approach may not work well in the era of globalized economy. So as organizations seek to expand their hands further beyond the national boundaries, they want to enjoy cost competitiveness by varying their pay levels. That's what here executive compensation will be as per headquarters levels. Excuse me. Golden handcuffs. So this golden handcuffs refers to compensation components which earned over a period of time and which assist in retaining an employee. So many organizations practice this approach to control the attrition. Some organizations deliberately provide newly recruited that means relatively less experienced employees wherein a salary or designation is disproportionate. For example, a PGDM candidate with 2 years of experience may be given the designation of Vice President with a compensation package wherein much higher than the market benchmark. So this actually young executives this is obviously burden to the people, but these young executives from leaving the job as they know that they will not get the similar scale and status in other organization, they will retain with the organization. So in India such practices are very much when we look into the new generation companies and all, these golden handcuffs are more. Next one is competency based pay. So which typically refers about pay directly related to the kinds and levels of competencies which required in performing a current role or current job. So this requires identifying the set of competencies must required for a job role and then assessing the employees individually to identify the level of available competencies and aligning the both with their compensation level. This is what competency based pay. Finally, golden parachutes. So it's like a fancy name golden parachutes which refers to the practice of providing pay and benefits to the executives after their termination resulting from a change in ownership or corporate takeover. That means this is particularly true for most of the senior level executives who will dictate this condition in terms of employment to protect their interests in the event of takeover. In India, some recent judgments of Supreme Court questions the sanctity of such practices, which leaving them the discretion of acquiring organizations. So, if you look into the Hayes group, their studies during 2006, which showed the French executives' golden parachutes are the highest when compared to remaining global. So they receive double their salary and bonus by with this class. So an alternative to golden parachute is golden shake hand drinks. So what does it mean, golden shake hands? This golden shake hand is provided for in the terms of appointment of executives, they become eligible for the significant packages if they are fired, retired or required to quit due to organizational restructuring. So if golden parachute is not taking place, golden shake hand would be the another alternative for it. Next, cafeteria plan. So executives may be given the option to choose different types of benefits, which is very commonly known as cafeteria plan. For example, health insurance, group term life insurance, flexible spending accounts, medical benefits and all. So here executives may select either of these alternatives as compensation benefits. So cafeteria plan is also used in some Indian organizations, which gives the employees a flexibility to choose between the contribution of PFs and pensions also. That's also one criteria in Indian companies. Finally, profit sharing plan. So this profit sharing plans provides payments based on the organization's profitability, which is apart from the regular compensation, profit sharing. So although employee stock options are being good example for this is more applicable and more fit to the many companies like wherein we talk about economic value added plans. This profit sharing plans would be the greatest choice by many of the executive compensations. So any submissions, any clarifications till then?
No, ma'am. No doubts,
No
ma'am.
doubts. Okay. So next, executive compensation design. See, executive compensation design process always links with compensation criteria like organizational performance or organization size to compensation consequences. That means pay level and pay increase. So such process or mechanism is categorized into two forms: the process that centers on contract and the process that involves direct monitoring of that executive. Likewise, we can have a mechanism. So organizations which follows that contract process, that makes it a time-bound employment offer which becomes a legal agreement. So these contracts specify a criteria for compensation like a basis of compensation in the form of schedules and some predictable conditions for linking compensation consequences to criteria. So direct monitoring is a behavioral approach to monitor the performance of executive wherein it is subjective evaluation. The contractual process differs from direct supervision with respect to a number of characteristics like objectivity, specify and precision. So each process can be studied further with respect of this approach, like level of analysis, degree of consistency and all. So direct supervision or control process is always based on the agency theory. So agency theory in sense mutual understanding between the shareholders and executives, right? So which is telling about the transparency, like which is advocating the need to monitor the agents means executives by the organizational board members. So these board members are knowledgeable and capable of judging the quality of executives' performance. So typical executive compensation components, already we discussed it, like base pay in sense, cash salary, flexible benefits, statutory benefits. That means as per company norms, what that designation to be given. Those are called as statutory benefits, which may include expatriate payments when it comes to the expatriation process. Expatriation means when the parent national executive is going to work at abroad. Those fellows are called as expatriates. So that is there. And annual incentives. So these annual incentives always to be mapped to business plans. So these incentives to be delivered in cash or equity, like either way by the mutual consent, mutual understanding of both executives and shareholders. It includes the deferred payments also, deferred payments. That means when you are, when executive is achieved the desired level of performance, that payment would be deferred performance. So these annual incentives may be linked to value added measures. And when it comes to long-term incentives, long-term would be applicable where these executives are willing to associate with the company from 3 to 5 years of time frame. So this may be cash incentives and equity sharing. That profit sharing and all equity sharing would be there. Even ESOPs also comes under equity sharings. Shareholder value focus. If this person is being occupied with executive role, some shareholders would be interested to invest in that particular company. That's also a long-term incentives. Referred against peer group. So one person would be acts as a executive wherein with the peer groups and all. So these are the components for executive compensations. Let us look into the criteria of executive compensation. So we have, excuse me, we have few criteria here: strategy criteria, position criteria or role criteria, individual characteristic criteria, performance criteria, behavior criteria, size criteria, market criteria and peer compensation criteria. So what is this criteria? While defining the executive compensation, the company has to determine the criteria. Here, executive compensation issues are now much discussed because of their performance implications and strategic perspectives. So, it's also difficult to come out with an executive compensation model which truly integrates with organizational strategies and performance outcome. So here the strategic dimension of executive compensation are much discussed due to raising cost of compensation, which for many organization is there will be the biggest expense to many organizations. So hence aligning executive compensation with organizational performance and with the overall strategy of the organization has some relationship. So somehow important steps to be taken by the organization while elevating the executive compensation to strategic level are making incentive pay and emphasizing on the technology, relating compensation to the organizational strategies. Such a way the organization has to make a factors and they have to review and change the strategic times. So this strategic dimensions of executive compensation typically focuses on raising cost of compensation, which for many organizations are taking it as a second biggest executive expenses. So next one, role or position criteria. So this criteria always links between executive compensation to job positioning. So positioning means the job role wherein it falls for. So this job positioning is being a strategy and which stimulates others to achieve the same results. So here hierarchical positions or organizational roles also have contributing effect on executive compensation designs. So here in addition, executives acts as figureheads. Then they should be compensated more than others when it comes to comparison. However, organizations are now experimenting with the structures to respond to the changing environment. So here position matters. According to the position, the criteria would be determined. Individual criteria. So here this criteria argues that amount of human capital possessed. That means the knowledge of that fellow. This theory assumes that amount of human capital possessed by executives which influences their productivity. And their productivity should influence their compensation. That is what this criteria determines. An executive with a greater amount of human capital would be better able to perform his job, thus he has to pay more. And next, performance criteria. This criteria emanates from the agency theory approach. So this criteria suggests that linking the executive compensation with the firm's performance. Here executives contributes to the firm's performance which can be measurable, which can be converted into compensation. Next, behavior criteria. So this criteria, actions and process of executives while performing the jobs which depicts their behavior, right? So behavior criteria is associates with the monitoring mechanism and executives take strategic initiative while making a subjective analysis of business decisions. Therefore, executive compensation design based on behavior criteria which makes sense. So this executive behavior is difficult to measure and all behavioral inputs cannot be linked with the specific outcomes, but still outcome of behavior is contingent upon circumstances and difficult to interpret. So hence, in designing the executive compensation, this aspect did not receive much attention from the corporate world, although it is being practiced in a limited manner. So size criteria, size of the organization matters, which is being determined to determine the executive's compensation. So it is less important than the performance of prospective candidate. Market criteria. So market perspective of executive compensation is being highlighted. Marginal productivity theory, which argues that market forces determines the executive pay. What is the market force? Again, supply and demand of executive talent. That will determine the compensation. So, the service of executive to the firm should be treated as any other factor. So, the price of that input, that means compensation in the case of executive, it is determined by the intersection of supply and demand of the market. Finally, peer compensation criteria. So the social comparison theory, which suggests that compensation of selected peers may play a biggest role in setting up of executive pay. So that's what social comparison theory is concerned of these decisions. So board members of an organization uses themselves as a referral point in their executive pay comparisons. So as far as when they are declaring the compensation, they will compare with their compensation. Then they will decide what would be the compensation for these roles. So this is about executive compensation. So say on pay is one of the things what recently is being happened with the companies. So here they told excessive executive compensation even at the cost of stakeholder interest has now become a global issue. In India too, we find differential compensation management practices between executives and non-executives even in the same organization. So due to increase in the focus of corporate governance, executive compensation issues in India is now required to be more transparent. So globally, some of the executive compensation issues has become very important in the discussions, like raising the compensations and all. So executive compensation is now the topmost criteria for corporate governance issues across the world, and as well as uh, say on pay is the movement which gives opportunity to the company's shareholders to oppose or to approve the compensation of executives by voting them. So such stakeholders or shareholders endorsement on executive compensation has almost now become essential in public limited companies. Unless the shareholders endorse the person to be in the executive position, the remaining board members also can't do anything. So in India also, say no pay movement is visible. So wherein the company is appointing someone on their interest, the shareholders have right to say no to that compensation or even to the position. Okay. So any submissions regarding this class?